Welcome to a Starter and a Chaser podcast with your hosts, Joe Clarke and Jon Passow.
Let's take a moment and be really grateful that spiders don't fly. Right? Oh, hey guys. Welcome to another Starter and a Chaser podcast episode where weekly we review one beer and one whiskey just for you guys, except on this special episode, it is a whiskey and a whiskey.
Whiskey and a whiskey. It is, do older whiskey vintages taste different than their current counterparts? We have a, for the starter, we have a 1970 Canadian Club.
And the Chaser, we have a current Canadian Club.
2020.
Yeah.
So tell us the history behind Canadian Club.
So
here, Joe.
Canadian Club's parent company is Beam Suntory, just like Jim Beam.
Yeah.
And the original owners were Hiram Walkers and Sons. It started in 1854 in Detroit, Michigan. Shortly after that, in 1858, they moved to Ontario when Michigan went through Prohibition and went dry. So actually started out in the United States. That's kind of cool.
Surprise.
So this one, the newest one, is aged 3+ years is what they say. And this is actually a 6-year-old product as stated on the bottle as 6 years.
And you'll notice the tax stamp says 1970. Now the proofs are different on this one as well. The current version is sitting at 40 proof, right? Or
yes.
No, 80. I'm sorry, 80 proof, 40% alcohol. And the new one is 86.8. So the old one. We're fucking
So yeah, the old is 86.8 and the new one is 80 proof. So I'm going to pour the new.
And I'm going to pour the old. We have it delineated in our sheet here in front of us. So we're going to do side by side.
Make sure I'm getting a pour. Yep.
We're going to first start with the new and see how that smells and compare the aromas to the old. Let me see and make sure Joe needs a little bit more.
Sure.
Joe always needs a little bit more. He works hard. All right, Joe. Take a sniff of the new and take a sniff of the old. This is the new. New versus old. Uh-oh. He gave me the
nail polishy.
Acetaldehyde, I think that is.
Like, I'm not pulling anything else other than like nail polish remover.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe. I'm not like faking this. This is rough, man.
Wow. Not
what was retail on that?
Start. 14, I think.
Ooh.
13 or 14.
Like maybe it's got this weird like kind of mustiness to it along with that. And like maybe a slight hint of vanilla. That's it. It's not very pleasing to the nose at all.
Let's try the 1970.
Okay. I've never smelled this before in my life.
Duct tape?
Like dank, dirty basement.
Huh.
Seriously. What?
Like, are you talking like musty or like mildew?
Musty, mildewy, moldy.
Ooh, interesting. Oh boy.
Not anything else. That's it. There's no vanilla, there's no caramel, there's no citrus, there's no wood notes, barrel notes.
These are fresh cracks, so it might need some time to open up, but man, that's not a promising
This is not a good start, guys.
Look at the colors real quick. The old one definitely is a lighter color than the new one. Old one's like straw yellow, whereas the new one has some little bit of...
If you swirl your glass, the old one is a lot thicker than the new one. The new one like has this weird like dissipation going on. If you've seen, I swirled mine earlier, and it's got this where this one continually holds its legs like this. This one's weird. This one's thicker. So, what do you want to do here?
Let's start with
new.
Let's start with new. Let's definitely start with there.
Okay.
Prost. Oh,
Slanja, I'm scared. Holy crap.
No, we can't even do it right. We're so terrified. At first it was like, oh, this is kind of smooth. It's got a little malt sweetness there. Then it went, whoa, what is that? What is that? I gotta go back for another.
I don't know.
It has this high fructose corn syrup thickness to it. It's got a hint of sweetness. It's got a hint of vanilla, and then it's like
This weird funk. That's all I can say.
It's a good way of describing it.
It's nothing. It's like artificial kind of flavor.
Flabby. There's
weird.
nothing there. It's like, wow.
Like nail polish remover made into an alcohol to
I wouldn't
mix
go
with,
that far.
I don't know.
I wouldn't go that far.
Dude, I'm just not.
Seltzer might be all right on the rocks, but it's not great. Well,
good.
okay, let's
go to the old man. Dude, it's gotten worse since it's opened up.
Whoa. Wow.
Like really mildewy and moldy. Like it's gone bad.
If I die next week after having this, you can have my Patreon supporters. Speaking of which, if you want to help support the podcast, you can visit us on Patreon. You can shoot us an email at whiskeyandbeer@starterandchaser.com. All right. This is 60-year-old whiskey.
Thicker.
No, this is 50-year-old whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50-year-old whiskey.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
All right.
This is a lot better.
Holy crap, it's a lot better. A lot of mildew on the back end of it, though. But the front end is really nice. You get that caramel.
Not like the nose at all.
I get a little coconut.
Yeah, it's not like this is really... I'm going to be really honest. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is horrible on the nose. They're both horrible. This one, as it's opened up, almost is worse on the nose than the other one. They're hard to explain.
Huh.
But on the palate, nice thick drink. I'm going to go in for another one.
Vanilla comes up.
As I'm like tilting it towards my face, taking a drink, it's like, oh!
Well, stop smelling.
But the palate is actually pretty pleasing on it.
Little bit of heat?
Little bit of heat, a little hotter than it should drink at 86.8. It's like a 2-flavor whiskey to me. It's maybe 3 flavor, maybe 4 flavor. You got I'm gonna go 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's go to 4. I'm gonna get. I pretty much it's not complex at all. Caramel, vanilla, a funk,
yeah.
and barrel.
I get a little coconut in there as well, so it's a 5-flavor drink for me. It's a one-handed drink.
Okay, hey, good one. Maybe try to find this coconut. This smells like old books that have been left in a box in a cedar closet. Kind of smell. I don't know.
Yeah, good descriptor.
You know what? Whiskey is. You know how cool whiskey is? Is that it can.
How cool is whiskey, Jeff?
Whiskey is so cool.
Yeah.
And it's basically a distilled spirit aged in barrels, and you get this weird stuff out of it like this, and juicy fruit bubblegum, and Bazooka Joe, and coconuts, and fruits, and figs, and earthy, and mulchy, and grassy, and flying spiders that we don't want in our drinks.
I mean, Joe's right. I mean, whiskey is such a dynamic product, from the malts that they are using to the type of still that they use to the elevation and barrel. I mean, it's all just like so variable and so mutable, and you get these flavors that you never thought you'd get.
Yeah.
And this is just another showcase of that. I mean, that
insane.
Both of them have that mustiness to varying degrees.
Dank.
Even though they're 50 years and completely two different owners apart, and possibly even completely different still setups as well.
Right.
So, I don't know.
That's an interesting question. Why even that much separation? Why do they carry that weird kind of musty note to it? Why is that?
Yeah.
If you guys know, comment below, please.
Yeah, let us know. So, old versus new. You know, I've heard a lot of rumors that older products were made better than newer products, or older products taste better than newer products. And we're not talking like 10 years. We're talking like 40
Old
years,
school,
50
man.
years, old school.
Like now to muscle car era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
What do you feel on that now that we've done an old to new? By the way, we are going to do another episode of this old versus new in the coming months, so keep a look on that.
So, in my opinion, in my history of whiskey and tasting a lot of different whiskeys, even old labels versus new labels, in time frames like that, 80s versus now 70s, 50s, 60s, of the same versions of whiskey, I agree. Old is better. And so I have to agree with that statement that old in all my cases have been true. Like I've even had old version of Buffalo Trace from the 80s to new version of Buffalo Trace, old Blantons versus new Blantons. And I think what causes that, in my opinion, is our demand is a lot higher now. So they're kind of meeting that demand. So
they're pushing product out quickly,
they have to.
and
it's not
might sacrifice a
offense
little
to
bit
them.
of the quality.
Sure, you almost have to, because it's just such a boom right now. For the past, I'd say, 7 to 8 years really is where it truly boomed. Back then you could kind of like have these age-stated 6-year-old products always on the shelf, and it's just a better product.
I'm gonna cough, excuse me. Sorry, I'm gonna agree with that. I've had a couple, not many, but a couple older vintages of whiskey, and I have found that they've been a lot more complex, a lot more craftsmanship has shown through on the older products versus the newer ones when tasted side by side. That's not to knock the new stuff, but these are big companies that we're talking about here. We're not talking about like a small mom and pop distillery that's opened up. We're talking about like, you know, Crown Royal or Canadian Club or Ancient Age, et cetera, et cetera. These big companies. And there is quite a big difference, and I found that the older ones are better. And this is another example of that one. Well, it's better. I wouldn't call it great, but it is better.
Let's just say it is what it is at this point.
Yes.
And that while this may be the better version of this, it's still not my cup of tea.
Yes. You know, I know somebody that's got a 1960 Crown Royal. I'm going to see if we can borrow that for a side-by-side of old versus new Crown Royal. But for sure, we're going to have old versus new Ancient Age coming up in the future.
John, can we revisit this real quick?
I think we got
Try your new again. Try your new again.
Oh, so we're going to
I just did accidentally and swung to the new.
It's gotten worse.
I thought it got a little bit better.
There's more flavors there, but that funk for me.
Oh no!
That has come.
There is a more
force.
initial take in. There is more of a flavor there than there was before.
I will agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, that funk is just. It's like feet. That is like blue cheese feet, apparently. And I haven't been.
First time we did a previous show where one of the distillers had a note of one of the beers, I believe, of dank, musty basement.
Yeah,
that's why I said that.
That was Anderson Valley.
Yes,
Horse Tongue Wheat. Yeah. So you picked that
I
up
never got that out of that. I'm just like, what? I mean, the sour beer, but dude, hey, let me. If you want to come into town and really experience a dank basement, it's this 1970 here, because right now That's the dank basement.
And that's the cool part about when you start exploring your palate and you start expanding your palate and being able to pick out these certain flavors like Joe's talking about. First time he ever experienced that dank basement flavor was the Anderson Valley beer a couple episodes, which is, by the way, link right up here. And now that he can recognize that, he's picking it up.
Dude, like for real.
That is a really great showcase of the journey that your palate's going on. Is you're really expanding it now.
Sometimes
whether it's a good thing.
Sometimes you want to go down a road, and sometimes you wish you didn't travel that same road at the same time. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching this special episode. We really appreciate it. And stay tuned in a couple days on a Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, for our normal episode. That's what I did. Of a Starter and a Chaser podcast. Remember, if you're traveling around, you're a very busy person, and you just can't watch us, you can stick us in your ear holes. Yeah, right. In your headphones, or listen to us in your car. You can broadcast it from your phone to Bluetooth on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Spotify, all the major podcasting networks on Anchor FM. So that's it, guys.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed.
Check out our Instagram. Flying spiders.
Thank God. There's jumping spiders.
There's jumping spiders. So maybe they're like
close.
Moving towards, they'll have hang gliders, tiny little hang gliders.
Evolution may happen on those bad ones. I'll be like, watch this.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See you later.